Hey, this is your host, Tinto, and before we get started on this weekend's episode, I thought I'd express my gratitude and appreciation to everyone that bought me a coffee this past week. So, getting the ball rolling, Babes Wema Prince, thank you so much for the coffees. Mrs. Mapunde Tarizo, hey, what's happening with the DIY? I love how you spelled your name as well. Tadiwa Ndozia, and ladies and gentlemen, the gut coach has been listening to the episodes, and I got no clue who you are. But she gave the podcast 70 solid coffees. That is incredible. It's phenomenal. I can't thank you enough. I can't come knocking on your door. I can't send you direct message because you're anonymous, but you are absolutely amazing. May God continue to bless you richly. If you want to give to the podcast, head over to www.buymeacoffee.com/feeling station and give as your spirit leads. I'm looking for 2 more supporters to get to that magical 100. Thank you in advance.
Is that a breakup? I think we have a situation right here on the Feeling Station.
Hello.
Yo, what's up? How you doing?
I'm doing great.
I can hear the excitement and the anxiety in your voice all in one.
It really is. It is. I'm like, dude, are you really going to do this?
Of course, we are doing this. Welcome to the Feeling Station.
Thank you very much, Tinto. Thank you so much.
Before we go too far, I need to let you know I'm recording an episode for the podcast, so please do your best not to say your name, okay?
I'll try.
And for those who are listening to this podcast for the first time, it touches on breakup stories that people would like to talk about with the view to give you lessons that you can learn from the story that's going to be shared today. And we're going to go straight into the fun bit. This is the part where I give you the name that you're going to use for the duration of this episode. Are you ready for this one?
Of course.
Cool.
Of course.
The name I'm giving you is from the Horn of Africa, Ethiopia. And it's in the beautiful language of Amharic. And the name that I've given you today is Amina, which is Amina. That's an easy one, right?
That's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, Amina. And Amina means somebody who's trustworthy, faithful, and honest.
It somehow is me, like on my good days. Yeah.
You're trustworthy on your good days, you're faithful on your good days, and you're honest on your good days, yeah?
Exactly.
So on the bad days, you're the complete opposite.
Not really complete opposite, but I can just be cold. I can just be icy.
I see. So what are you going to call the guy that you're going to talk about today?
Okay. For him to match the script, let me just give him a shorter name. Let's call him Simbarashe.
Oh, okay. Why Simbarashe?
Right. Well, when I was thinking of my story, like there are parts that I'll probably need a name that has meaning so that it matches what I'm going to try to be saying.
Interesting.
Okay.
So for the benefit of those that don't speak Shona, what does Simbarashe mean?
God's strength. That's how I can put it.
God's strength, God's favor.
Not that he has God's strength and favor. No. It's just, we'll see what I mean when I'm saying, okay, that's the ideal name to you.
Cool. So the story is about Amina and Simbarashe. And onto the other fun bit, which is the lessons. What would you like people to learn from the story you're going to share today?
Okay. My first lesson would be mirror. Okay.
Mirror.
And when I'm talking about this,
okay.
Okay. When I'm talking about a mirror, I'm saying that what's reflected to you is what you should take.
Ooh.
And it is also what you should give.
Okay. So this is not just about what the other person is giving you, but you also need to mirror what you need to give back.
Exactly.
Okay.
So if they're not pulling their weight, you have no reason to
be pulling your weight as well.
And spotting their efforts and and that is not necessary.
I like that. I really like that lesson. Yeah, that's lesson number 1. Have you got more lessons?
Yeah, we can talk about nipping lies in the bud. You know?
Nipping lies in the bud. Yeah,
yeah.
That's assuming that you know that you're being told a lie, because half the time the lie only comes
No,
later on. So you don't have the chance to nip it in the bud.
no. There's a time you pick that, okay, I'm dealing with maybe a habitual liar here. So
Mm-hmm.
figure out, are these lies a shifty, am I dealing with a shifty pathological liar,
Yeah.
or these are just, small lies to save your relationship? You can always figure that out
So
eventually
so
with
which
time.
lies should we be nipping in the bud here? The shifty ones or the ones that are being told to save the relationship?
Once you establish that there's this lying pattern that's beginning,
Mm.
you know, either stop it, or just if you decide to accept it, do that at your own risk.
Okay. Cool. I like that.
Yeah.
Have you got another one?
And then the last one, I would say, okay, even if the relatives, the friends are cheerleading your relationship, if
Mm-hmm.
you and your person are no longer compatible,
Mm-hmm.
just let it go.
Okay.
Don't base it on, the sister telling you they're gonna miss you, or they believe you're the best person for this, that.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, right, it's not the sister who's facing
Yeah,
the unhappiness. It's you in the situation,
it's,
right?
yeah. Okay. Yes.
Nice. So I'm going to play those back. Lesson number 1 is mirror, which means you should always reflect what is happening to you and give back the same energy. And then number 2, you need to nip any lies in the bud. And then number 3, even if your friends or relatives are cheerleading and cheering you on, you don't have to continue, especially if you're no longer compatible. Yeah?
Perfect. Yes.
Cool. Right, let's get into it.
Okay.
So, Amina and Simbarashe, what got you guys together?
Oh, college. Okay.
College.
We met, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we met in college. But we only started dating in our, like, not even in the final year,
Mm-hmm.
but we started vibing in our final year. Like,
What?
we just got closer than we used to be friends all along, first year,
Mm,
second year. We used to talk to each other and everything. Then in the final year, we just, okay, something's happening here. Let's not ignore it. And everyone around us was like, yes, guys, date already. Come
yeah.
on. We're just
Yeah.
wasting everybody's time.
Yeah.
So we actually got to final year without actually dating. We actually started the dating journey like during our graduation. That's when, I don't know, maybe it was that, now we're parting. So if we let this thing go,
Yeah.
we might lose it forever. So let's just start it.
Mm-hmm.
So we started on a very blissful note. It was a nice story. We
Mm.
were happy. We were couple goals. Our friends looked at us and like, yeah. And you know how it is, that relationship that you have when you're leaving tertiary,
Yeah.
you believe you believe that's the one that's going to carry you over for the rest of your life.
That's right. Yeah.
So you're out there giving it your best shot. You are doing the best you can for it. And so for quite a while, it was awesome. Like, we had fun.
How long is a
We,
while here?
we,
You say quite a while. Are we talking months, weeks?
we could talk about almost a year,
Okay.
almost. We were staying in different towns, but that didn't, you know, distract anything. I could easily, I had actually figured out that we were both still staying with our parents. So there's
Mm-hmm.
no way I could just randomly go out there and sleep over. But we had managed to realize that, okay, I could actually go to his town, or he could come and visit me in town
Mm-hmm.
and be able to go back home the same day.
On the same day.
So, yes. So
So how long a distance are we talking about here? Did he need to travel an hour, 2 hours to come to you, or
about 80 Ks,
50 Ks?
80,
80. Okay, so that's just over an hour.
just over an hour.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And, like, I'm actually thinking, when I was the one traveling to his town, I'll do something silly like wait for my mom to leave for work first. I'll leave the house, and then I'll make sure I come back before my mom is back, so that she doesn't know.
Wow. Y'all are taking a big risk, man, because anything can happen on the road.
Like, I know.
Damn.
I really did,
Yeah.
we did. And then in that period, one lie did take place, and but to me, when it happened, I didn't place the blame on him. I blamed everybody else around us. Okay, so this one time,
Yeah.
during this whole back and forth, me and him visiting each other, he goes, "Okay, so when are you coming to ever sleep over?" So first of all, I had to cook up a story to leave the house. So I had to tell my parents, a tall story. I need to go there, do this. So I'm not coming back. I'm coming tomorrow. And then he had told me that, no, the plan is we're going to go over to my friend's place, because he was also staying with his parents. So he was as well.
So you guys
So
were
he
pretty
said
much looking for a base, weren't you? That's what they say, could track a base.
something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
So he says to me, "Okay, my friend has it sorted, so you can come through. But when you do come to the house first." And then when I got to the house, like we're sitting, I'm like, "Okay, when are we leaving? Because your parents are going to be rocking up anytime, and I don't want to be here when they show up." No, we're just sorting out a few things. Chill, sit there. And then his mom actually comes back from work, and we haven't left the house.
Right.
I'm stuck in his room, like in his bedroom. And I keep asking him, "Okay, Simba, when are we going to leave? Like, this is very comfortable."
Yeah.
Leave. He would come in and check on me, then get out, and then come back.
So where were you at this point? Were you like in his bedroom?
In his bedroom, yes. Nervous as hell, and I'm saying, "Okay, what if my nerves actually upset my stomach and I get a running stomach? What am I gonna do?"
Yeah.
And then he just comes back to me and says, like what I was trying to organize didn't work, so you have to sleep. You're supposed to sleep in here tonight. So he literally snuck me into his mother's house, and I slept at his mother's place without his mother's.
Oh my gosh.
Oh. And that is one thing I had sworn never to do in my life.
Wow.
Because when friends that would leave college and visit their boyfriend, and they'll tell me, he snuck me into the house, and I used to play judge on them, and I'll be like, "You know what? That is totally ridiculous."
Oh
but it actually
my goodness. So I got a funny thing to add to that, and I don't know whether my ex listens to this or she doesn't, but she will remember a time that I snuck her as well. And if any of my siblings are listening to this, I'm sorry that you have to discover it over a podcast. But
your siblings didn't know.
Well, no, nobody in the family knew except for one cousin of mine who was very suspicious, because the only way that he was able to tell that there's more than the normal number of people in this house right now was, the place where I grew up was very dusty. Right?
Yeah,
very, very
okay.
dusty. And you know how they polish the floors with like a maroon polish? Such that if anybody steps on that with dust, you can tell that, somebody's gone in. So this guy was very observant. He was very how do I say this word? Observative.
Yeah, observant.
Yeah, whatever. So, observant. So he was very observant. And he knew the prints from my shoe, so he could account for that shoe. And at the time, right, there was only about 3 or 4 of us at the house. And he knew my younger brother's footprint. And then there was a footprint he didn't recognize. He didn't recognize that footprint, right? And yeah, I snuck her in. Yeah, we hung out and blah 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 blah. And then the next morning, he just came to me and is like, "Yo, cuz, how are you?" I'm like, "Yeah, no, I'm good, man." And he's like, "No, like how are you?" I'm like, "Hey," I said, "I'm good." And then he just walked away. It's only in the last 2 years or so, and this happened okay, I shouldn't say the time.
Way back.
Because then people know which ex I'm talking about. And it's like, just to let you know, I know that day you got up to some shit. You know, I'm like,
Oh,
and it's like, yeah, because you had footprints that I didn't recognize at the house, and I know it's you.
no, but like with Simba,
Yeah.
I think it was with him. It was just he had no reason to lie because his sisters were around, and his sisters had actually said to him, "No, let's talk to mom and tell them that Amina's our friend." And then if you guys want to wake up at midnight and get each other into your bedrooms, there's something else, rather than like not letting you know that
So the sisters knew that you were in this house,
two of his sisters knew I was in the house.
and they didn't squeal. They
And
didn't
they
say
just
nothing.
kept that secret.
Wow.
Yeah, yes, it
Wow.
was.
No, but let's talk about this a little bit. Wasn't the adrenaline rush exciting at least though?
I couldn't even perform anything. Like,
What do you mean
I couldn't
perform
bring
anything? It's not a circus. You're not expected to
no,
do a performance.
like this. People are just like, okay, in adrenaline environments, that's when
Yeah.
the sex
Mm.
is panicking. So I couldn't even properly enjoy the sex because I was just thinking, what if this woman walks in?
Ah!
Oh, he actually unscrewed the light bulb as well.
This is brilliant. So that if the mother turned on the light,
Yeah.
oh my god, yeah. Well, I
But
wasn't gonna
like,
ask. I wasn't gonna ask what you guys got up to, but then you said, you didn't even really enjoy the sex because you were nervous and stuff,
yeah,
right?
yeah, and I was.
So why did you go ahead and do it if you were so uncomfortable? Because remember, as your name says, right, you're trustworthy and you're honest. So you could have been honest enough to say, "Hey, bro, I'm not really feeling this," because
But
you're.
look, I traveled 80 kilometers. There was no way I could just.
So something had to happen.
Yeah, so
So who
and
put?
even no, but
So who put the pressure for the sex? Was it him or you?
no, there was actually no pressure. I'm just saying I did it, but it was really.
Who initiated it?
Of course, he did.
What do you mean,
It's
of
not like
course?
I said.
What do you mean,
It's
of
not like
course?
I said. You know what? I'm not sleeping with you because this is what has happened.
You could have
In
done that because this is one thing that I know about guys. If guys are very anxious or nervous about something, they do not get an erection. No matter what you do, that thing has got its own mind.
my, I think he had his ducks in a row already, so he was pretty okay.
Oh, so
Like
so 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 that was his plan. He knew that he's gonna make you sleep over here.
going to take me anyway, but I only figured out, you
Yeah.
know,
Okay.
I left my father's house. I was told no, we're going somewhere, and otherwise, if I had known, I probably wouldn't have shown up.
Of course. So
Yeah,
was that a good lie or that was a bad lie? Because remember you spoke about nipping lies in the bud.
it made me so angry, but at that time, I actually didn't think that's how he had planned it. In my
Okay.
mind, I was like, you know what, his friend let us down. He failed us. So I
Okay.
was
Okay.
blaming the friend that,
Okay.
okay,
Okay. Okay.
the plan there.
Yeah. Okay.
So I didn't even. So fast forward, that incident is over. We're
Mm.
still okay. I'm actually playing committed, very committed girlfriend and wife. He was actually doing poultry projects, and I would walk around town trying to get him like
Clients.
buyers and
Yeah.
everything. Yeah, I got him a deal with my brother-in-law because my brother-in-law owned a company and he needed
Mm.
about a
Mm.
supply of about 50 chickens per month. And
Mm.
I got him that contract, and he was now consistently supplying my. And I was doing this because, okay, somebody once said churches tend to make people do all these things.
Yeah.
So there was all, you've been to bridal showers and you're being told, you know what, you need to support your partner and, help him achieve his dreams, his goals, so
Yeah.
that, you can be. So this was me do, doing all this for him.
But what was he doing to help you achieve your dreams and your goals?
I was working. Like when we left college, I managed to quickly get a job. But
Mm-hmm.
him on the other hand, it was not so simple. So every little hustle he was trying, I'd make sure I had his back. I would run around. I would literally go to my brother-in-law's place to deliver the chickens myself because he would probably be doing A, B, and C, and he'll say, you know what, can you please come and get them for me? I'll do that.
Does this mean you helped him financially as well?
No, I never used my money but
Why?
I was quick to say to him, you know what, don't worry about me. I will take care of me. So this whole getting my hair done or like spoiling me a bit, initially it was actually you wouldn't see it coming from him because I don't know why I was just so lenient with him. I was like, you know what?
How
If the
about
money
how about
you
after
don't.
how about after he started supplying your brother-in-law with chickens and he was earning money? Did he now
Yeah,
at least start offering to do your hair and treat you and stuff?
he would do it here and there, but I feel he could have done more.
You feel like you could have done more?
But it was what it was. And then,
Mm.
so as the year went by, I had to move and come down to South Africa.
Mm-hmm.
So when I moved to South Africa, we had to split. But then already, I remember we were still making so much effort on our relationship. It was those times where it was difficult to come to South Africa from our country, and you needed visas. We made sure he got his, and like diligently every second month he would show up and visit.
Mm-hmm.
And that is how we actually ended up meeting my mom, because every time he came down here, I would, pack a few things and take them back home, give them to my mom. You know what? I
Okay,
was,
okay, yeah.
but then I hadn't met his mom and I hadn't met his parents, and then I was like, okay, we
You
need
could
to
have met
stop.
his mom, but you're busy doing bedroom shenanigans, isn't it?
Shut up.
No,
you
go
know.
on. Go on.
So yeah, I started bringing the topic up. Okay, marriage, what's happening, but not in a pushy kind of way. But like
Why
I
did you
think
bring up the topic? Why did you bring it
we
up?
were now. It was like 2 years now, and
Had you guys
I
ever
just
had
thought,
the chat before?
well, yeah, like, but I think I'm not sure if it was just him talking or how it is. Oh, you and I are going to get married, so there's nothing to worry about. So, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so when I first moved to South Africa, I stayed in Midrand. Then I made a move from Midrand to Pretoria. Okay. So the day he was coming into, first of all, like, I remember it was early months. So I was like, okay, let me plan a Valentine's thing, because he had said, I'll come down for Valentine's. And I was like, okay, cool. Let's make a plan around this. The good thing about it is I hadn't financially committed myself to it in any way. I just said, okay, I'm planning. I got him a nice present. I prepared myself. And I remember it actually happened that I think that Valentine's was a Friday or Saturday. So I wanted to make it all nice long weekend and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? He kept on, like, every time we would talk, he'll be like, yes, I'm coming. Yes, I'm coming. And I remember those days it was hard to call somebody from Zimbabwe using your cell phone. So he could only do it using the landline. I didn't have a landline, but payphones in South Africa were still working then, like those phones. So this one time I was like, you know what, let me just try giving him the phone number of a phone booth. And then when he managed to get through, we're actually making appointments. It would be like, you know what, you send me a message, go to the phone booth, I'm calling you now.
Wow.
And you call from him by the booth, and we'll talk probably for an hour or something crazy like that.
How far was this phone booth from your
It was
house?
no my house. It was, but I always find it funny that he actually had the number saved in his phone, like for some
Wow.
homework. But me actually saying to him, when you come, you're going to see the famous booth where I,
Yeah.
race actors and everything
Yeah.
talking to you. Then the Friday morning is like, I'm now on my way. I'm actually going to Harare. I'm going to get the bus and everything. Then he went quiet. This is like Valentine's weekend that we had planned. He's missing his MI. I'm actually worried that something is wrong with him. He's quiet on Friday. He's quiet on Saturday. Then he calls me on Sunday morning. I'm like, And then he's calling me with his number from Zim. And he actually told me, something terrible happened to me in Harare. So I couldn't even get on the bus. I couldn't actually get on the bus. I actually started feeling sorry for him. And I was like, you know what? I was so angry. But then again, that was a lie.
Yeah.
And, my friends were like, ooh.
This is not adding up. It's a bit convenient for Valentine's weekend.
No, this is my. He wouldn't do that to me. You see what he acts like. Come on. I go to the booth for him. He wouldn't do that if he wasn't committed. So yes, something is wrong. Something went wrong. And then they were like, okay, they backed off. And then the next time he actually managed to come, we're in Pretoria, so he doesn't know where I'm staying. So he said to me, okay, let me get to Joburg first. There's something I need to do in Joburg. And then since you're at work, and then around 4 or 5, when you're knocking off, I'll also make my way to Pretoria.
Yeah.
Then he calls around 4 and he's like, fine, I'm on my way to Pretoria. I'm coming. Then we're like, okay, so I was doing the calculation. We're like, okay, so this means you're going to be around by 5. Then around 5, he calls and says, I've arrived. Right. And then we're like, okay, where are you? And he goes, I'm in town. I'm like, yes, which part of town are you so that we can come pick you up?
Yeah.
Because my boyfriend had a car and we could have gone.
Yeah.
And then he mentions I don't know if it's a popular place or random place. Then my friend's boyfriend, and he says, okay, no, let me just drive and pick him. And then his boyfriend goes there and he gets there and finds no one. And then he calls and says, you know what, this guy is a no-show. I can't find him or anything. Then we call him like, dude, where are you? And he's like, I'm here. Like, but this guy can't find you. And I'm like, oh. And then until my friend's boyfriend was like, you know what, I'm leaving. I'm coming back home. I haven't seen your boyfriend. I don't know where he is. And then I rushed around and looked like we had the taxi driver that used to take us from points A to B. I asked him, okay, please, let's go get my boyfriend. He's in town and he doesn't know this place. Yeah. I don't want him to get caught or how bad South Africa can be. We get into town and we're like, okay, where are you saying you are? And then he's like, he mentions a street name. We go to that street, we search the street up and down. Like, he wasn't there.
Wow.
And then
my
taxi driver literally says to him, Shwana, ablas, you're wasting time. I'm supposed to be working. I'm just going around looking for you. Right. So now that you have my number, when you're actually in a place that exists and you are actually in the real Pretoria,
call me.
Yeah. So he showed up about 2-3 hours later. And I was like, so I was asking him, why did you tell us you had left Joburg if you hadn't left Joburg yet? You could have just told us like once and for all that I'm here. There was no need for you to tell us that you are in town, that you were not. Yeah. What's all that about, And then, he got defensive about it. And then my friends are like, no, stop fighting. And you guys haven't seen each other in a while. So don't start, just let it go and everything. But then that's when I started.
But what was his excuse for
being so late? Yeah. I have no idea.
What do you mean you have no idea? You must have asked him something.
Because he said, I'm going to Joburg. I'll be with my friend in Joburg whilst you are at work. And then I'll just travel from Joburg to Pretoria when you guys knock off. We called the friend and he was like, you know what? I left him by the taxis. He's supposed to be on his way. So
okay.
He can't even account for that time he was missing.
Wow.
Where was he? What was he doing? Nobody knows. And then as Zim got worse, I then said to him, you know what, fine. please move away from Zim. You can come to South Africa. So I still believed in him. I still believed in our relationship. So I was like, you know what? You can move from Zim, come to SA, and we'll figure out what to do together.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's happy. He's like, okay, fine, we'll do this. And then around October, it was in October, he moved. Okay, I moved away from my friends. We found our flat. We were sharing a 2-bedroom flat with another couple. This couple used to fight, and we were like the peaceful couple. And then again, we had our blissful time. But I had said to him, I don't want to do this arrangement of living together for too long. I just wanted to do it with you so that you find your own two feet.
Yeah, but that never works like that, though, does it?
Exactly. So he comes. His mouth is shut. Nothing is happening because he has left a big bombshell back home. What happens? Somebody else is pregnant in Zim. He came here. He left a pregnant girl in Zimbabwe.
He ran away from a pregnancy.
South Africa. Yeah, he ran away from a pregnancy. Straight to me.
Is this a pregnancy he knew of, or one of those where the person rocks up?
Oh, he did. He did. And the thing that made it so bad, remember we were friends in college. So it's a name that I knew from the time we were friends.
So this is a girl that y'all knew from college.
Yeah, she dated him before, and she became his ex. Then I started dating him, and then I don't know how they decided to reconcile whilst I was out in South Africa. So got her pregnant, and then he didn't say anything to me. He just ups and leaves her and comes to SA as our plan. So he left Zim and just came to SA without me, and I had no idea of anything that was going on. And I lived in my blissful ignorance for about 4 months until his brother came down, and I don't know why the brother just decided to spill and tell me about it. So he just said, you know what, this is the situation back home. And this person actually sometimes goes to his house and stays there for a couple of days. And guess what? When dear boyfriend left Zim to come to SA, nobody knew about it. The parents didn't know. So they actually don't know where he is. As not literally nobody, but he did not tell his parents that this is what I planned.
Wow.
This is what I've planned. I'm going to SA. He just left.
So this whole time they were probably worried about where he was, right?
Yeah, exactly. And then of course, if ever it was going to be discovered that he was with me, I don't think I would even be in their good books ever.
Yeah.
So already we were headed for disaster because of that. So of course, the first time I heard about it, I cried. I lost weight. Because I'd really given a lot to for this thing to work. So for all this to happen, and it was like a horrible nightmare. I actually decided to leave the relationship, and I was like, okay, fine, do baby mama things, and also me asking to come to SA. I'd actually kind of knocked on doors for him. I'd spoken to my boss, because my boss had a number of companies.
Yeah.
So because he liked me, threw in a favor for me and just got him something to start, and let him do. So he didn't even have to go through the hustle of job hunting.
So he actually lined up a job for him.
Exactly.
Wow. Okay.
And he didn't have to go through the hustle of job hunting. Okay, it wasn't an awesome job, but it was a start.
Yeah.
And all this time, his salary is buying diapers behind my back.
Yeah. Wow.
And I have no idea. And I had planned that, no, the salary should be, we should be like saving portions towards, taking money to my parents and
Yeah, for you to become his wife. Yeah.
And he's busy buying diapers. I know nothing about it. This is where the sisters came in, and because I had my faith in them, I had broken up with him and I had left him, and we had separated, stopped staying together. But then, like, the sisters, they called me one after another, and they were like, no, we need to fight for this relationship.
Okay.
We will guide you, no, you guys can't break up. It's a mistake. Yeah.
At this point, did they know that he had a baby floating about?
They did. That's what they were justifying. No, it's a mistake. I'm sure he did some one night stand.
Yeah.
You were so far away. But you know what? Be the bigger person and take him back.
Yeah.
And if I look at it in hindsight now, he wasn't even remorseful because his sisters did the work for him. I guess I went back because I love whatever love means. But if you really sit down and think about it, no, the people that called me and said, no, please don't do this, was the sisters.
So it wasn't actually him saying to you, hey, babe, I messed up. Can we try and fix this and work on this?
When he found that he had a way in, he just, but most of the groundwork had been done for him.
Okay.
So, yeah, I decide, okay, let me go back into this. I reconcile with him. And now, because it's out in the open that he has a baby, I'm actually now playing stepmom. Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
So, I'm now responsible for that diaper shopping now. I'm the one who goes out and says, okay, let me do that. I buy the little vest, I buy the soap, I buy the baby oil. I make sure, everything baby needs is in order, and I'm the one that sends it. And I'm actually like, okay, the buck stops here. If this girl wants anything from you, she speaks to me and tells me. I'm the one who tells you what this girl has said.
So he actually spoke to his...
Yes.
Wow.
And then she would say to me, do you know that his parents paid damages for him? Because they had this kind of background where baby mama's parents and his parents had a good relationship that they felt they couldn't
break.
So they were covering his tracks for him. They were doing what they needed to do to ensure that they didn't spoil church relationships and whatnot. And I'll sometimes be like spiteful and I'll be like, you know what? The parents are the ones that married you. It's not him.
Yeah.
Like you told me, the parents paid, not him. So you and I both know where he stands because he's here with me. I got into such petty fights sometimes. I can't even believe I did this back then. I did. So yeah, we pushed it for a bit, and then he decided, okay, I'm tired of SA. I need to go back to Zim. I let him go. I don't know. I just decided, okay, fine. Because during the time I had split up with him, he had picked up 2 other girls from here in South Africa. So when I reconciled,
how long were you guys broken up for?
4 months.
So you guys split up in 4 months, and within those 4 months, he had 2. He had 2 girlfriends.
He got 2 girls. He got 2. And they both fought him at some point in time in my presence.
Wow.
The other one, in the supermarket, and then when she was trying to be dramatic, I ran away because I didn't want to be on some headlines in some little newspaper that I was in the fight. Yeah. And then the second one, she actually came, there's this time we just chilled and she walked into the house like a tree.
So she knew where he lived?
I don't care that. Yeah, she did. Then she was like, I don't care that I'm in Asia. You promised to come see me at 7. Now it's past 7. And he's like, hey, I don't know what you're talking about.
Wow. Did you know what bothers me about
But
that?
I used to find it.
Do you know what really bugs me about that?
What? Okay, yeah.
The fact that she knew exactly where he stayed.
He never moved. Like when we broke up, I'm the one that moved away, but he never left the flat I was at. So when he did his relationships, he did them there, and so the girls knew where to find him. I never moved back with him.
Right, right.
So, but then it was one of those weird things because we've reconciled. So we happened to be at his flat, and then this girl shows up, and she's like, "You said you were coming at 7." I was like, "Okay, fine. Please go and
Wow.
see your girlfriend that you wanted to see at 7." He's like,
Wow.
"Oh, nothing like oh, so because I was young and there was this whole trend that was going on that if a boy chooses you, then he prefers you. So there's nothing for you to worry about. So that
Damn.
was what I was riding on,
Mm, mm,
you know.
mm.
Uh, and then I was actually happy that he moved back to Zimbabwe because of that. And then I followed like because I got sick and then my mom was like, and I needed to have an operation done. So my mom was like, I don't want you having operations whilst you're out there,
Yeah,
come and have
come
your
back home and
operation
have
on the
it done
side.
here, pretty much.
Yeah. So when I moved back to get my operation done, I also moved back to Zim. And then that's when the sisters are now discussing, oh, marriage phase. Let's have you guys visiting the aunts. And
Mm-hmm.
he's playing like he's in on it. The first aunt we visited was mine. She was hospitable. She brought
Mm-hmm.
out her chicken. She did her best. She was like, okay, my brother-in-law is, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I'm making this work. And then when it was time for me to visit his aunt, he takes me to the town he stays, right? And then he's like, my aunt is here. And I was like, this is not what according to what I know. You have no aunt that stays in the same town as you. And he was actually a bit pissed and he says to me, what do you know about my family?
Okay.
And I was like, okay, fine. Okay, where's the story going?
Going, yeah, yeah,
He
yeah.
literally took some random woman and introduced her to me
As the
as
aunt.
his aunt.
Hmm.
Yes.
Were they behaving like aunt
And
and
then
nephew?
yeah, when the sisters asked him, he actually says to them, oh, we went to, then he tells them like their real aunt's name, like, oh, we went to so and so's house.
Yeah.
And then the sisters were like, okay, fine. So the sisters believed I had been taken to
To the aunt.
the proper aunt,
Yeah. When you
and
hadn't really.
I had taken to some dishy person.
Mm.
So when, and then when now the sister is having a discussion with this aunt that was claimed to have been visited. That's when I was like, no, Simba never came here with any girl. I don't know what
No
you're talking
way.
about.
Oh my gosh.
So that's when the sister
Mm.
is called me. So she called me, wanted to talk to me. She wanted to tell me about this whole, what, fake aunt. Okay, we've been looking at it, but we really think he's wasting your time and everything. So
Mm.
when she called me, she just says to me, we need to meet up. Because she was also staying in the same town as me. So it was easy for me to just meet up with
Mm-hmm.
her.
Mm-hmm.
And then I did to Simba, I was like, you know what, your sisters, I'm going to meet up with your sister on Tuesday. I think that the time was a Saturday. And then I was telling him, I'm meeting your sister on Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's like, oh, really? Like, yeah, me goes why? And I was like, no, she just asked to see. And then Monday, the sister calls me and she's like, no, I don't need to see. I really wanted to see you, but I can't anymore. I just wanted us to talk. And I was like, yeah, but I still need to talk. And she was like, no, not happening. I can't talk to you.
Mm-mm.
Then I suspected that he had done something. So I went to him and I said, well, what did you say to your sister? And then he kept a straight face on me and said nothing.
Mm.
I was like, oh. So we did have a mutual friend that the sister knew about. So
Mm-hmm.
she went to him and said, you know what? He's still a meaner than Simba. dodgy.
But please tell Amina that Simba is what?
It's just being dodgy and he's wasting her time.
Wow.
Okay. So that friend of his is the one that called me and said, okay,
yeah,
you visited a fake aunt. The real aunt doesn't even know what the story is about.
Wow.
And if he's serious, he wouldn't be doing this. So I think you need to, make up your mind if you want to stay with this person or not.
Mm.
So yeah, I just then went into autopilot. Fortunately, for me as well, when I did move back to Zimbabwe, it was easy for me to get yet another job. Okay?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So leaving him, I don't know. I'd been with him for so long, and I discovered that okay, this guy lies.
How long had he been at this point? But by this point, how long had you guys been together?
About 4 or 5 years.
Wow, that's a long time, you know.
Yeah, it is. It is. So, and then so I just happened to have my savior come at the new workplace I was, because I don't know. I didn't want to be with him anymore, but I don't know why I never actually got to tell him. But then our relationship was now on autopilot. I also stopped putting effort, and he would come into town and call me and say I'm around, and I'll be like, okay, fine, let's see each other. But it was just flat. But for some reason, I'll never come and say, you know what, I don't want to do this.
And I guess that ties in quite nicely with the lesson that you gave that says, you need to mirror. If somebody's giving you something, give them exactly what they're giving you back.
Exactly.
And it also ties in with what you were talking about, about friends and relatives cheering you on,
Exactly.
And when things are no longer compatible,
and now
just know.
In this juncture, they had also given up, and they were like, you know what, he's beyond. We can't do anything for him. Yeah. So it just took. Okay, what can I call this guy's name? Let's call him Sunny. So I had a workmate. I didn't know him then. I didn't know he existed. The Sunny guy. He was hot. He was extra sexy. He was just like physical. He was a physical answer to prayers. Right?
Hey, yeah.
But in in my spectrum, because of what I was going through, he didn't exist.
Yeah.
And he had noticed me and he had taken an interest. He used to greet me, but I never used to pay attention to him that way. The girls in my office would actually literally scream, why are you so indifferent with this guy? Because he really likes you. But I was in that weird space. So one day he went of his way to do a romantic gesture. He brought a rose and a chocolate, put it on my desk. While some of my workmates were watching. And then he left a note that says, like, you're amazing, you're smiling, and his phone number.
Nice.
So I just took his number, texted him, oh, thanks for the happy gift. I didn't even tell him I'm going through it. But then just that one gesture where some hot guy is having a crush on me, I was just like, you know what? I'm taking this ride wherever go with me.
Yeah.
So barely a week later, Simba is back in town. I'm sitting in his car. I was like, you know what? I need to try something new. This is it for us.
That's what you said to him.
Just give me space.
No,
yeah.
That's what he said to you. That's what he said to you.
So I said that to him because I'd met.
Of course, yeah. You'd met this guy who actually probably made you realize just how bad your situation was, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it took him to give me the push to dump Simba. And funny enough, to this day, I never spoke to Simba ever again.
Wow.
When his dad passed on and his friend told me about it, and I was like, tell him, tell him I said my
Oh my
condolences, but I'm
gosh.
not calling it.
You were completely over this
Like,
situation, weren't you? Like you were done.
yeah, I was fed up. I didn't want him to, It's funny, like, New Boy only lasted for about 6 months. But when I broke up with him, that's when I actually had chest pain kind of break,
Yeah.
chest pains.
Yeah.
But with Simba, I had nothing. I felt nothing, and to this day, I just liberated myself.
So when you did the
And
math, yeah.
interesting thing, he
Mm-hmm.
reconciled with baby mama,
Oh,
and
he
they now
did?
have kids. Yes.
Wow. So now they got 2
And I was
kids.
like, oh my god, yeah. And I say I used to be rude to this girl, telling her that
Wow.
it's the parents that married you, stuff. But yeah,
Out of
that's
curiosity,
my story.
when you did the math to see when this baby was born, did it coincide with Valentine's Day by any chance?
No,
No.
no, no. It wasn't that Valentine's incident. No, no.
It was some
Because
other
the
incident
Valentine's
somewhere.
incident was some other thing. Also.
Yeah.
He also stayed in Zim for quite a while without me being.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not that I'm making excuses for him.
Mm. That's crazy, man. So, did you did you ever bump into him and stuff?
Funny enough, no.
Yeah.
I actually ended up, even like most of our communication was on Facebook. Oh, this is where I wanted to use his name. Because when I was in my crazy about him days, I'd like write something on my Facebook wall,
Mm.
like I'll probably just write his name in capital letters like Simbarashi.
Mm-hmm.
And then my friends and his friends would like mock me and say, "Are you really talking about the Lord, or you're talking
Oh, I
about,
see what you
And
mean. Okay.
it was also come and bombard my walls with, we were a couple of walls like that, and like just randomly come to my wall and write, "Missing you, babe," and
Yeah.
then the comments would come in. That's why I was like, Facebook and my relationships, not anymore these days. 'Cause
No,
taking that,
we spoke about this on an episode. That put relationship stuff on social media at your own peril.
exactly. And then another thing is, this all used to happen on my wall. We never used to do activity on his wall.
Yeah.
So I was blocking out any potential suitor because they could see that there's a guy in Amina's life. And, but his wall was, it was
Now,
really.
he had a lot of stuff to hide in general. They always say there's a difference between being secretive and being private. He wasn't being private. He was just being outright
He was,
secretive. Because he probably knew that he had a lot of stuff that he was up to on the side anyway.
Exactly. But,
Well, you definitely dodged a bullet, my friend.
I did.
Yeah. And I guess it's good that you can come and talk, about this openly, because you really
and
feel,
laugh about
yeah, you even laugh about it, because it's a real sign that you're completely over this. I mean, he had a life-changing event, which was the loss of his father. And you couldn't even get yourself up to that point just to reach out and say, "Hey, I'm sorry." So you really want him out of your system, and it sounds like he's totally out of your system.
No, it's totally out.
No, great. Thanks for sharing that.
Thank you so much. The nerve of it.
Yeah, no,
I
this has been
enjoyed telling
great.
my story. I hope the listeners enjoyed too. Thank you so much, Toto.
Absolutely. And, just to play back the lessons, lesson number 1 was mirror, right? What somebody's giving you, you need to mirror and give back. If they're not giving you any energy and positivity and trying, you shouldn't be doing the same. Lesson number 2, learn to nip any lies in the bud. If you see that there's a pattern, develop it, and it doesn't sit well with you, cut it off, cut everything off. And then lesson number 3, even if friends, relatives are cheerleading you and leading you on, if you're no longer compatible and feel that this is not happening anymore, it's okay to leave. Thanks once again, Amina, and you've been listening to an episode of the Feeling Station podcast. I'm your host, Tinto, and I look forward to catching you in next week's episode. Peace.
Tell me what you're feeling.
Satizwa ndarorwa ini handichageza ini.
Tell me what you're feeling now that it's over.
Satizwa ndarorwa ini handichageza ini.
Let me talk about my feelings. Let me talk about my feelings, yeah.
Rudo imoto runoto kuchidzirwa mai.
Kuchidzirwa amai. Love is a fire.
Rudo imoto runoto kuchidzirwa mai.